Welcome back to Movie Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain a war drama based on the true story of the youngest soldier in World War II, titled Soldier Boy. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie opens in a peaceful Russian village where a mother sits beside a river with her two sons. The youngest boy, Sergei Alyoshkov, proudly tells his older brother that he climbed the tallest tree nearby. Suddenly, German fighter planes roar across the sky. Their mother quickly tells the boys to hide in the bushes, but fearless little Sergei grabs his slingshot and pretends to fight the planes. In his imagination, he shoots one down heroically. But the happy moment suddenly disappears. Sergei wakes up terrified from a nightmare and calls for his mother. Someone knocks on the door, and the boy happily rushes over, thinking it's her. Instead, a frightened neighbor enters the house in tears. She tells Sergei that German soldiers attacked the village and that his mother and brother have been killed. The child refuses to believe her. He insists on waiting at home for his family to return. Moments later, enemy soldiers approach the house. The woman quickly pushes Sergei out through the window and tells him to run. Before she can escape herself, she is shot dead. Now completely alone, the 6-year-old watches his village burn behind him as he runs into the forest crying for his mother. Lost in the wilderness, Sergei spends the night by himself. The next morning, while drinking water from a river, he hears enemy soldiers approaching. Terrified, he hides beneath the roots of a giant tree. Even when a snake crawls beside him, he stays perfectly still because he fears the soldiers more. After the Germans leave, Sergei steals the leftover food they abandoned and eats desperately. Days pass, and the boy grows weaker from hunger and exhaustion. He wanders aimlessly through the forest, surviving on wild berries and dirty water. At one point, an explosion nearby leaves him dizzy and hallucinating. Despite barely being able to stand, Sergei pretends to be brave, shouting into the darkness that he has a rifle and isn't afraid. Soon afterward, he collapses unconscious. When he wakes up, he finds himself surrounded by Soviet soldiers who discovered him in the woods and brought him back to their military camp. At the base, Commander Kuznetsov listens as the frightened boy introduces himself. The soldiers instantly become attached to him. They feed him, joke with him, and treat him kindly. Even the usually serious commander softens around the child. A nurse named Katya cleans and bandages Sergei's injuries. The boy excitedly asks her to draw a tank on his bandage because he dreams of becoming a soldier one day. The wounded soldiers also enjoy Sergei's company because he gives them a brief escape from the horrors of war. Sergei becomes fascinated with the commander's uniform, pistol, and military medals. Kuznetsov patiently answers all his questions and even lets him hold an unloaded pistol. As Sergei slowly recovers, Katya asks the commander to let the child remain with the battalion. However, Kuznetsov believes the battlefield is too dangerous for a little boy and decides Sergei should be sent to an orphanage instead. The soldiers disagree. They have grown emotionally attached to Sergei and feel happier whenever he is around. One day, enemy forces attack the camp, leaving many soldiers wounded. During the chaos, a vehicle arrives to take Sergei away to the orphanage. The commander gives the child a handmade wooden pistol as a farewell gift. Sergei hugs him tightly and tearfully admits he is scared something bad will happen to him. That emotional moment changes everything. Kuznetsov finally decides to keep Sergei with the battalion and even calls him his son. That night, the soldiers celebrate by finding tiny military clothes for the child. Sergei proudly wears the uniform and runs around camp looking like a real soldier. Everyone begins calling him Soldier Boy. Soon another air attack begins. The soldiers rush Sergei to safety while explosions destroy parts of the camp. Wanting to help, Sergei carries water to injured soldiers. One wounded man asks him to read a letter from home because bandages cover his eyes. The problem is that Sergei cannot read. Not wanting to disappoint anyone, the child invents cheerful stories from the letters instead. He tells one soldier that his family's cow is doing well back home. When the man points out he doesn't own a cow, the others laugh and tell him to keep listening anyway. Sergei continues making up funny stories, lifting everyone's spirits. Meanwhile, feelings slowly develop between Commander Kuznetsov and Katya, though neither admits it openly. Sergei becomes determined to prove himself useful. He proudly calls himself an orderly and asks the commander for real missions. At one point, he notices a destroyed soldier's station after a bombing. Kuznetsov gently teaches the boy to remove his hat to honor fallen soldiers. Later, Sergei is assigned the task of delivering letters around the camp. He completes the mission perfectly and even entertains the soldiers by making them dance. One day, while playing with binoculars near the forest, Sergei notices movement inside a haystack. He immediately reports it to the battalion. Though skeptical at first, the soldiers investigate and discover 2 hidden German spies. The spies are captured, and Sergei is praised as a hero. That night, Kuznetsov shows Sergei official adoption papers. The commander has legally become his father. Wanting to repay his kindness, Sergei attempts to help Kuznetsov confess his feelings to Katya. Unfortunately, they see her speaking with another man and wrongly assume she already loves someone else. Soon another brutal attack begins. This time Sergei helps carry ammunition to soldiers fighting on the front lines. The men eventually force him back because the battlefield is too dangerous. While returning to safety, Sergei notices the military phone line has gone dead, cutting the battalion off from reinforcements. A soldier is sent to repair the wires but gets fatally wounded. Before dying, the man explains how to reconnect the line. Without hesitation, 6-year-old Sergei crawls forward under enemy fire and repairs the damaged wires himself. The communication returns just in time for backup troops to arrive. The tiny boy ends up saving countless lives. Later, beside a river, Kuznetsov finally confesses his love to Katya and asks her to become Sergei's mother. Katya is overwhelmed with happiness, but before she can answer, another soldier arrives with urgent orders. The battalion must relocate immediately. The following day, the regiment travels toward a new base with Sergei accompanying them. During the journey, several vehicles drive into a minefield. Massive explosions erupt everywhere. Kuznetsov is injured, and one of Sergei's closest friends among the soldiers is killed. The child breaks down crying as he clings to his adopted father. Eventually the survivors reach their new camp and meet a high-ranking general. The general is amazed by Sergei's courage and congratulates Kuznetsov for raising such a brave child. Later, the battalion receives honors for their service, and Sergei proudly receives a badge of his own. He promises to defend his country like a true soldier. One night, disaster strikes again when enemy bombs destroy part of the base. Commander Kuznetsov becomes trapped beneath the rubble. Terrified, Sergei screams for help and desperately tries digging him out with his bare hands until other soldiers arrive. The commander survives, though Sergei badly injures his hands trying to rescue him. By now, the little boy has become an inseparable member of the battalion. He no longer has a home or family outside the soldiers who raised him during the war. The film ends with the regiment marching toward yet another battlefield. A narrator explains that Sergei later participated in the Battle of Stalingrad and eventually reached Poland alongside Soviet forces. His bravery became legendary, and he is remembered as the youngest soldier in World War II history. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more movie recaps, leave a like, and turn on notifications for future videos.